Okay, so we're going to do a very shortened version of this lesson. This is lesson 5A, and we're going to be talking about functions, but we are going to kind of truncate this lesson to about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So we're going to pick and choose pages that we want to discuss. So the most important thing is that you guys know what a function is. A function is a relation in which each element of the domain X is paired with one element of the range Y. So essentially what that means is you can't have an element of the domain go to more than one element of the range, okay? Which means if we're talking about in terms of a point, what can't repeat, X or Y? X, okay? X cannot repeat. If we're looking at a set of points, X can't repeat, okay? So if I were to look at something like this, if I wanted to, and this is called mapping, if I wanted to map something, I could map this, okay? What I can't do is this, because what have I just done? Why can't I have that green line? How many times am I using 0 now? Twice. Can I have a repeating X value? No. Okay, so this yes, a repeating no. Okay, and this is called mapping, and this would be your X or your Y, your domain, your range. Yeah, just write it up. Okay, so that's quick and easy, right? So again, you can't have an X value that maps to more than one Y value. Can't repeat it, can't use it twice, okay? So if we're looking at points, a set of points, right? If I ask you if something's a function or not, what are you looking for? Good, you're looking at the X value and you're making sure that the X values do not repeat, okay? Now, is this one a function? No, why? Yeah, if you look here, that 3 value repeats, so this is not a function. Okay, and this is, you guys did this in 9th grade, so this isn't new. You've done this before. Okay, so this one's not a function. Why? Because we have an X value that repeats. Are you okay with that? Okay. All right, so I want you to try this one real quick. Is, on page 1.7, is this one a function? I'm saying it is a function. You're going to tell me true or false. Okay. Who's got it? False. Why? Yeah, a 4 repeats, right? So this is false. It's not a function. Good? Okay. Okay, so we're good with repeating X values. We know that's not a function. So what else can we do with these points? No, what can we do with them? What do we generally do with points? We plot them, right? We plot them on a coordinate plane. Okay, so on the next page, what I did is I went through and I plotted these points. Okay, you don't have them plotted. I plotted them. How can I tell graphically if this is a function or not? Okay, good. So is this a function? No, why? What value of X? Yeah, 0 is being used twice, isn't it? Okay. Y can be used twice, but X cannot. Okay, so I have 2 values on that vertical line. There's a test that we use if we look at graphs to determine whether or not something is a function. Who knows what that test is called? Good, vertical line test. You guys remember vertical line test? Okay, vertical line test basically tells us whether or not something is a function by taking a vertical line and passing it through the relation, okay? If when I pass that vertical line through, I'm going to go, we just discovered vertical line test. I'm going to go here, here, okay? If I take that vertical line and I pass it through my function, and it doesn't cross any more than once on that X, right, then it's a function. So is this one a function? Sure. Okay. Question? Would this be a function? No. Why? Yeah, here's my vertical line test. How many times is it crossing? 2. Okay? Do you get it? So vertical line test is what we use in order to determine if a graph is a function or not. Good? Awesome. Okay. Like I said, we're flying. We're done. Woohoo! Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that would still be fine. If you have a -3 and a +3, are they on the same vertical? No. So it's still a function. Sure. Okay. Now, what we are going to talk about later on is something called the horizontal line test. And what the horizontal line test does is it tells us whether or not something is one-to-one. One-to-one meaning there for every one element of the domain, there's one element in the range. Okay. So now this wouldn't be one-to-one because if I pass this horizontal line through it, there's two. Okay. So vertical line test function, horizontal line test one-to-one. Say it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so horizontal is one-to-one, vertical is function. Okay, and that's going to come up. We're going to deal with that a little bit later on, but that's your kind of pre-test. Horizontal line test tells us whether or not something's one-to-one, meaning for every element in the domain, x values, there's only one element in the range, y values, and vice versa. Okay, so one-to-one meaning 1x per 1y. Okay, and that's that horizontal line test. All right, so what I'm going to have you do, instead of talking at you more, is hopefully you brought those homework packets that I gave you in the beginning of the year. Okay, take them out. And if you didn't, you can run to your locker really quick and get it. And on pages 2, 3, 4, and 5 is talk about functions and function notation. Okay? Now, 2 and 3 is basically using that vertical line test to determine if something's a function, looking at a set of points, determining if it's a function, stuff that you guys are really good at and I am not concerned at all about for you. But I want you to real quick utilize that, okay? Now, on pages 5 and 6, those are the ones that I'm more concerned about, although, you know, I do want you to try these ones too. Incredibly slow. Okay, so that's talking about function notation. And again, this isn't new either. You've done function notation, okay? So if I have f of x is the same thing as y, right? F of x means y, essentially. So it's f of x meaning the function in terms of x, okay? So I have f of x equals 3x plus 7. This is the same thing as y equals 3x plus 7. But with function notation, it allows us to do this substitution, essentially. So if I'm looking for f of -4, how would I figure out what it is? What did I replace x with? What did I replace x with? X. What's it being replaced with? -4. So what am I going to replace x with? So 3 times -4 plus 7. You've done this before. Is it coming back to you? It's not. Easy. So 3 times -4 is -12 plus 7 is, okay, that's all you're doing. All right, so I want you to try a couple of these, okay? So you're just substituting in the value that's in the parentheses for x. The one down below, you're using your calculator to do it. So everybody here knows how to store, right? So what would I be storing for this one? -5. What would I be typing in? Okay, so I'm storing -5. I'm typing this in, and it's going to automatically give me my answer. Okay? Any questions or concerns with that? Okay, the ones that I'm most concerned with are the ones on page number 5, because they're word problems, and it's really important that you guys know how to read. So I want you to start on page 5 and work your way backwards. I need you to be able to do word problems. They're going to be the most important thing we can work on. Okay, so I want you to start with page 5 and then work your way back. Good? So you guys can work together and just kind of work your way through these. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer them. Sound good? Okay.